Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Pause with Elizabeth Elenor, and it's a little bit chilly here in Shell Harbour in New South Wales, Australia. And if you're watching here for the first time and I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, I am the founder of this beautiful group, Awakening Wild Women. And I also am someone that's in the process of getting to discover more and more of myself, right? As we all are. And so I would love for you to put hashtag reflect in the chat so that this whole process of pause is for us to actually reflect on who we are and what we're doing in conscious relationships. And that's conscious relationships with ourselves as well, right? Because when we're in a relationship with ourselves and we're full of self-love and we've had the opportunity to reflect on who we are, the more we understand ourselves, the more we can understand our environment, the people that surround us, the vibration that we're giving out to the world, right? And so today I wanted to talk about the layers of being yourself, because it's a really interesting process of discovering who you are, right? And I did that, I had a moment on the weekend of actually recognizing another piece of the puzzle, another recognition of what was going on for me. And I want to back up a bit because when I was younger and I started recognizing how to work with the universe, how to actually start working with the codes of creation, I only had myself to play with, right? There was no law of attraction information that I had accessed at that stage. There was no, The Secret hadn't come out, that movie, The Secret. There was nothing that I was actually being able to grab hold of and say, these are the steps. And, but I had this thing, right? I had this recognition. I had all this debt. I was a single mum with two, young kids. I was massaging, but had only just moved to the area and I was only just starting to massage. So I was learning how to market, was learning all these bits and pieces, right? Like, it's not just be a good massage therapist. You've got to know all these other steps, right? And so if you've been watching me for a while, you may have heard the story of where I had all these debts coming in and no way of being able to pay them because my computer died. I didn't have any way of marketing or advertising. I had a couple of clients, but that was it. And I had all these debts and I was like, what am I going to do? And so I went through this process of discovering, I went, well, what if I just imagine myself as being debt-free? And at the time, that's all I wanted. That was my choice, just to be debt-free. And where I was coming from was this place of recognizing that I had debt and I wanted to be out of debt, right? At the same time, I was doing it really, really hard in my life, my relationships. I'd separated from the father of my kids. I was spending all this time with my little ones. I didn't know many people in the area, and I just felt like things were really hard in my life. Hey, Roseanne. I just felt like things were really, really hard. So one of the things I'm asking everyone is to put hashtag reflect, so that this is an engagement, this is a conversation, right? Hashtag reflect in the comments so that you're thinking about how this relates to you. So here I was actually just doing it hard. I wanted money because I was in debt. I wanted love because no one was there supporting me. No one was there sharing the grief. No one was sharing the load. No one was sharing No one was nurturing me, right? And I was nurturing everyone else in my environment, and it was bloody hard. So my cup was not full. And because of that, because there was, this lack of money and there was this lack of love, my health suffered because I just started, comfort eating, or I went into these patterns of forgetting to actually eat in the first place. Because as a child, I had anorexia. And so, here I was in this cycle of I'm not thriving emotionally, and so I would just limit myself. My throat chakra would close down. I couldn't express my pain, my discomfort, all of those things, right? So as I was creating from a place of lack. I just needed some love. I just needed someone to feed me. I just needed someone to give me some money, right? And so that's where my set point was. And so I was coming from a place of problem solving my life, right? But as I moved into, and what happened was I went into this space where I got some results, right? I started recognizing how to create in just a really quick period of time. So it was like this week where I just continuously kept on telling myself that I was out of debt. And lo and behold, this miracle happened. My hairdresser rings me up and says, there's a lady up the road that's a new manager of a bed and breakfast around the corner from you. She needs a massage therapist. There's people coming in. Can you do it? Blah, blah, blah. And I just wiped out. There was 4 people got 4 massages, and another 2 after that got 2 massages. And I just wiped out all my bills, right? It was brilliant. However, because I was coming from this place of choosing to be in my lack, choosing to try and support myself in my problems, it didn't last, right? It didn't last because I was back here in this place of recognition. Hey, Aisha, recognizing my dysfunction and being held in my current reality where I was just in desperation, right? I'd love for you to chat and reflect. Have you been here? Have you been in that place where you're just on that wheel, right? You're just on that wheel trying to fix yourself, trying to sort your shit out, like trying to work out how to work out this game of life, right? So it wasn't until I discovered, and I did this yo-yo, right? This yo-yo of working out little bits of me in these layers of, who am I? And then falling because who I was not conducive to my environment. And so, working out how to live in this place where I was living from my authentic self. But how do you live from your authentic self when you're looking after little kids, when, you've got friends in your life that weren't really in that same place as you, and so they were, leaning on me a lot. People like a young girl that was up the road, like these challenges that were, we were all trying to work our shit together, right? We were all trying to work out who we were. And as we were, understanding more and more of our surroundings, right? And that's what people are doing, constantly working out who am I according to who I surround myself with and what my normal everyday day is, and just working through that. So it wasn't until I started discovering and doing some research on alchemy and the secrets of alchemy and how to create that I recognized how important it is to make the choices from a different place. Make a choice from what you choose to have in your life just because you want it, right? Not because you're in a place of dysfunction, not because you're in a place of trying to survive or problem solve your life. Not from your limitation, right? from a place of recognizing that we are a higher being, that we are here to make difference in the planet, to raise the vibration. That if we're on this planet right now, we have got so much opportunity to wake up to consciousness, to recognize who we are, to and we are creators. We are here to make huge shifts and leaps on the planet, because right now is this crucial point, right? So are you waking up to your potential, or are you still in that problem solving place? So when I was going through this yesterday, I recognized that, because I've been working with alchemy for a little while, right? But there's all these different layers. There's this vortex that you go through, and like watching the pieces of the puzzle sort of step in, and then being able to overview that and recognize the bigger picture of who you are, you know, having moments of it and then having that sink in, you know, this moment of sinking in and recognizing, well, this is who I am now, and having this new set point, right? And watching the wobbles where, okay, this is where I am now. How solid am I in this, right? What are some of the beliefs that are stuck in my body that are holding me back from being that person? What are some of the emotional attachments that I have from my childhood, or that are genetic in my system, that are holding me back from actually elevating in this beautiful understanding of who I am? Because we just have this massive amount of gunk in our system from old information, from decisions that we made when we were freaking 3 years old, right? Of who we are, how the world works, what our relationship is to other people, and how to behave to get what we want, to be able to survive, right? We're still working on that in that stuff. It's all within our system. It's this junky freaking gunk, right? And then on top of that, we've got all these beliefs and emotions trapped in us from our generations, right? From women that have passed down information from woman to woman that's in our DNA of, you know, the fear of being able to speak our truth, the fear of actually stepping out and being powerful, the fear of actually being a creator and standing up for what we want, the fear of saying no and being rejected. All of those things are deeply rooted within our system, within our bloodline, right? And this, it's like, I was talking to someone on the weekend, and I was sharing about The Labyrinth. Have you ever watched The Labyrinth with David Bowie in it? It's a really cool movie. It's an old movie. But there's this scene, if you haven't watched it, you need to go and watch it. It's a beautiful heroine's journey, right? Where she forgets who she is, and then she goes to save her little brother, and then he, you know, the Goblin King gives her amnesia, and she's back in a bedroom. And this is the scene that I often share, because here she is, she's totally forgotten who she is. She's back in a bedroom, and she's like, I was doing something. Can't remember what I was doing, but I was doing this thing. And there's this garbage lady that walks in, right? Like, she goes to go outside, and this garbage lady comes in. It's a big puppet, one of the puppets, right? And she's got all this stuff on her. And as she's saying, I was going to do something. What was I going to do? And the garbage lady goes, oh, remember your teddy? Don't forget your teddy. Remember how much fun you had with your teddy? And she starts piling, oh, and don't forget your, this book. Oh, isn't this book? Remember this book? And your little TV. And so she starts piling all of this stuff on this young girl, right? And so that she's weighed down with the memories of the past. She's staying stuck in the current reality and all of the stuff that's holding her back, right? Let's just stay here in the comfort. Let's hold it all over us so that we're just remembering the past, right? And through that process, she remembers, like she reads something in her book and she remembers that she was saving her little brother, and she pushes the stuff off and off she goes. And the story goes that she saves her little brother, and everything's rosy after that, right? Our own heroine's journey, if you are have taken the right pill, right? If you've taken the red pill and you're stepping out of the matrix, if you're stepping out of the illusion of old information of who we are, buried under all of this DNA, all of the traumas of the past from our women that have gone before us, all of our conditioning from our childhood, all of that stuff is holding us back from that layering and understanding and recognition of our brilliance and our creative ability and our magnificence, and that we are more than this body, that we are this amazing, vibrant energy, that we can create whatever we choose. Once we recognize we are more than this body, we start being aware of, well, why am I here? What have I come here for? What did I choose to experience? What choices am I making on a day-to-day basis? And so these layers of choosing to experience, right? And watching, I've just had a really amazing experience that I'm really, really proud of, because I'm watching how good I am at getting to understand who I am and what I'm choosing to experience in my life. So I've just had this experience where one of my business mentors I actually mentored with him, and then I mentored with his mentor so that I could get a real grasp of how to create and alchemy and all of those things, right? And just recently, those two have joined together and they've decided to do a VIP sort of experience to go to Africa, right? And I've been to Africa. I want to go back. I love the place. It's beautiful. I had such an amazing journey there. Have you ever been to Africa? It is just stunning, right? And so all the bells and whistles start, bing, 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 bing. I want to go, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go to this thing, right? And all of my friends that are mentoring and coaching with these people are going, yes, I'm going. It's a massive amount of money for next year, right? And I tuned into myself. I tuned into my higher self. I tuned into my future self and asked the question from that place. And I got a no. And I was bummed out. I was really bummed out. What do you mean no? I want to go to this thing, right? However, I've now been able to really master the way to create choices, how to really choose what it is that I'm stepping into and what I want to experience. And that beautiful nugget, that enticing little cookie, was actually not part of that. And so I asked myself several times, and several times I got a no, right? And I recognized that I wanted to go because of the fun of it. And I recognized that actually I've done enough learning with these two. I've done, it's now the practical application. It's now taking ownership of the message that I know that I already had, that these two mentors were just part of that process, right? Is recognizing that I have a lot to give, and that I'm here to support a whole heap of people to remember what they have to give, to remind them to remind you that you are powerful beyond measure, that you are here to shine your light really, really brightly, and that all of these ripples are going to make a massive difference in the world, right? This is what we're doing at the moment in consciousness is huge. And so I was really proud of myself for watching that. Actually, the reason I wanted to go was FOMO. I didn't want to miss out. But where I'm heading is so much more than that instant gratification that this moment was going to give me. And so I've been able to sit back in that and say no from this place of choice, not from I don't have the money, not from I'm too busy, not from will I be able to to go to Africa, will Tim want to come, all of those from going into my problem solving, not from any of that, but from a place of knowing what my choice is that I'm here to create, knowing my prolificness, knowing my future self and where she has already sat and where she has already been, and staying in that space and being able to say no to the instant gratification that my identity wants to have, that part of me that wants to play, to explore, and knowing that I'm still doing that, just that this is a no for right now, right? This is a no for this moment. And so when you can really recognize who you are, go through that spiral of recognizing who you are and the layers of that, right? Each time stepping back, understanding and reflecting, right? #reflect, throw it into the comments. Reflecting on who you are. Why is it that I'm having this experience? How do I feel about it? Where do I feel it in my body? What is this sensation? Is this from a past experience or is this my now moment? Where am I heading? What are my choices? Is this conducive to my choices, right? What am I learning about myself? And going into the depths of that and responding instead of reacting to life, then the value that comes from that, the results that come from that, is this amazing flow. That's when things start jumping into your world, right? The miracles that, I'm sure I've shared with you before, the things that I've had in my life. When I was questioning whether I was supposed to be on this journey or not, I got 3 shooting stars straight up. I've had, I met Tim Makepeace on the friggin' beach, right? Why did I go to the beach that day? Why did I, have a 4.5 centimeter fibroid that was so easy and freeing and go? I went through the whole process like it was just a walk in the park. Why did I have the same with a 15 centimeter fibroid, right? Why is it that I've been able to create all these little mini miracles all the way through my life? Multiple 6-figure business, right? 2 businesses, now 3 businesses, right? How can I fit all of that in and be sane, not be overwhelmed, right? Why is that? The reason is because when you're in this layering, when you're in this flow, you are not having to do the work. You don't have to know, I have to go down to the beach at this time because there's going to be this guy that's going to go past, so put it in my diary and blah, blah, blah. You just are in that natural rhythm. Your intuition, your future self comes in and gives you these little nuggets, right? These little cookies for you to follow, right? And you tune into that. You tune into that, and you know whether it's a yes or a no. You flow with it. This is where we're going. We're going into a place in consciousness where we are so connected with our higher self, with our super conscious information, that we are just in this natural flow with people, with ourselves, with our desires, with our awakening, right? This is where we're going. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling that things are rocky and wobbly and you can't shift some of that stuff, you're in your identity, and that's where you've got to do the work, ladies. That's where you've got to support yourself to step into, what am I choosing instead? What do I want to, what is my real purpose here? Is this serving me to make this decision? When you can work on yourself and actually know yourself in those layers, more and more you become your higher self here on the planet. More and more you become grounded and focused and embodied, and you're embodying that intuitive wisdom, that divine feminine energy, and connecting it with your masculine so that you can take action on what you're here for. That passion, that purpose, all of those things come together. When you can really sit and make choices from a higher perspective, that's when you start to get to know yourself. That's when the layers really start coming in, and you have that beautiful oneness with your higher self, and your identity starts matching what it is that you want to create. It's a beautiful place to be. Let me know in the chat, have you had glimpses of this? What do you feel holds you back from actually having this on a continuous, consistent, daily basis? What is it that's holding you back from having that experience? Much love. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Mwah. See you next time.